So next album, 485, Richard and Linda Thompson. I want to see the bright lights tonight. I don't have a single good thing to say about this album.
I mean, I don't really have anything to say about it at all. I mean, I wrote when I think of white people music in the 70s, this is it. But if I wanted to listen to white people in the music in the 70s, I would listen to Elton John. That's what this was to me.
I said notes. One of the hardest albums I have ever listened to. This is more folk rock? Question mark.
It
There's
is
electric.
folksy
Yeah,
a little
there's
bit.
electric and acoustic guitar? Question mark. I'm not even sure. I wrote just keep it away from me.
Oh god.
The guy's voice is ugly. The woman's voice is not that special. She sounds like her name would be Linda Sunshine. They're probably racist.
God.
They
For all we know, they're probably the most progressive like
might be like the
activists.
nicest people ever,
Yeah.
but nah, I'm not. I'm never listening to this again.
I'm probably never
This-
gonna listen to it again. I when I was trying to find something that I was like, maybe Calvary Cross. I didn't care for it too much. Again, it's very 70s,
yeah,
but not the best 70s. I think there's better albums out there in the 70s with this type of folk rock vibes than this, I think. I don't know. We'll find out.
yeah. It's well, yeah. We'll find out. I see why this shouldn't be on the list. I haven't
I
even
don't think
listened
it
to the
will.
rest of the albums, and I don't think it should be here. It just wasn't good
It
overall. But
doesn't
anyway,
feel, yeah, it feels a little pretty mini. It's kind of potato salady, a little bit. Not even
yeah,
potato salad. It's just very
I don't
mayonnaise.
I don't even think potato salad is good. You know what? I don't even think mayonnaise is good. So you're right. Yeah, yeah, that's
It's
how I
just
feel about it.
egg whites. Okay.
Egg white. It's just egg white.
Because it's pretty bland, There's nothing
It is. There's
great
nothing.
special to me about it. It just
Yeah,
like good job, ma and pa. But
yeah. Mom and pop. Wow, that's actually a very perfect way to describe this. Mom and pop.
yep, they got their guitar and they started jamming.
They started shipping. All they needed. Okay, so the next album, 484, it's Lady Gaga, Born This Way. I
What?
always get excited when it's like an album that at least I'm aware of for this. So I have never listened to this album in full. I
Hmm.
remember when this album came out though, because I was in high school. I was a junior in high school, and my AP English teacher was talking about Born This Way, and
Mhm.
she was talking about how emotionally, like how emotional it is, and how good it is to you know just be who you are. And I forgot how she tied it to whatever literature that we were reading, but something that was very interesting to me is because when I first heard this song, and I don't know if this was me actually being progressive back then, I thought it was about being trans. So I'm in class and I'm like, well, you don't think this song is about like being trans and being happy with being trans? And mind you, it's 2011, guys.
Yeah.
So no one's talking about anyone being trans. Everyone's still like there's only two genders. Like they're very remedial in their understanding of gender. So the class is like, the hell is she talking about back there? But I was being genuine and sincere. And I was
Hmm.
like, that's the vibe that I get from it. Like being like, I was born this way. And then she was like, that's a very interesting take on that, Dominique. But I'm again, because it's 2011, she didn't really, touch on it like she would. But I find it interesting because Rolling Stone put at the end of it, the Glam Slam title track became an LGBTQ anthem. So I was somewhere along the lines
Yeah.
on that,
I mean, Born
like
This Way was
understanding.
100% about, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Come on, dude.
exactly. Correct. And
Yeah.
it's Lady Gaga.
It's
Come
gotta
on.
be. Come on,
Like
we know about
gay
Lady Gaga.
icon.
Yeah.
Gay icon. Like she is
The
the one.
biggest
Like
ally, I feel like, ever since the
yes.
beginning. So,
Like since the start of her career, it was never
yes,
like
ever since.
not like she like in a way like breadcrumb them like
No.
oh I'm just like no she came out the gate like yeah I'm for the people.
Yep.
Um, I said that this album feels like poppers. I've never taken poppers, but if I were to, I think that this would be that album.
My bottom lip is trembling, Dom. I don't know what to do.
You said what's troubling?
My bottom lip, because I'm like, am I laughing? What am I doing? How do I? I don't know. Dom. Okay, isn't okay.
Yeah.
I get what you
Um,
mean. I think.
it just feels like, so I've been to gay clubs before.
Yes,
And
as
but
me.
the gay clubs I've been to are, they're mainly more like they're more black gay clubs. So they're actually playing a little bit more like house and a lot of
Mm.
Beyonce.
Hmm.
Like a lot of Beyonce. But when I went out to a gay club in Chicago, it it was like for the first part of the night, or at least we were in Boys Town, and we were going past some of the gay bars, and I was hearing like Lady Gaga, like this
Hmm.
music. And then it's interesting because I didn't know some of these songs, or at least I didn't
Hmm.
know the names of them, and I didn't know that they were on these albums. I was like, oh no, there's a lot of songs that I've heard either like during Pride weekend here, or just in general walking past like gay bars or gay establishments. I'm like, oh, this is on this album, and I found that very interesting. I Saves Judas and
Oh,
Government
Judas is
Hooker.
good. Oh, you like Government
Yeah,
Hooker? That's a pretty good one though.
yeah, I like Government Hooker. And that Bloody Mary song, it's been all over TikTok. I didn't know that that was like Lady Gaga, because it's
Me
like
neither.
it's like it's nightcore, right? So
Yeah,
it's
I.
sped up, and I'm like, wait, hold on, I didn't know that this was Lady Gaga. But yeah, I think that I think it's a solid album, and I see why it's on here.
Yeah. Um.
I will say that I probably, out of all the Gaga albums, Fame Monster is probably the best in my
Is
opinion.
that her first one?
No, there's oh sorry, not there's the Fame and then the Fame Monster. Cause like yeah, this has Bad Romance, Alejandro,
Hmm.
Monster, Dance in the Dark, Telephone, Just Dance, Love Game, Paparazzi,
Oh yeah,
Poker
that
Face.
was a
Like, come
release.
on, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
Like
that's the release. Yeah, because
these
the
are
first one was the Fame. Yeah.
like these are smash hits. Like
Yeah.
when you think like of Lady Gaga, this is Meat Dress, like
Yup.
Lady Gaga, like doing
Iconic.
the damn thing. Like Stefania, iconic,
Yeah.
iconic woman. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I think that it was good.
So I'm is there any other Gaga album? I didn't look if there's any other Gaga albums on this list.
I
I'm
honestly I don't think so, but I personally don't think any of her other albums should be on this list, to be
I'm actually
honest.
surprised that this is the Gaga album that got on. Because I think the Fame Monsters better. I think the album with Just
Yeah.
Dance and Paparazzi, all of that was I don't want to say influential, but it was more I don't even know if it's iconic. It was just more impactful. I think that kind
I
of at the time kind of brought in that electro before TikTok, Kesha, TikTok, it was one of those things where it brought in a little bit more.
I think that what she had though was refreshing, because there were other pop, obviously, like there were other pop girls, like Britney was still making music at this time, but she was kind of like
Hers is very
on,
pop though.
yeah, hers is like very pop, but then of course during this time there was Katy Perry.
Girl,
um
pop. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
there's lots of
again,
different pop girls at the time. I think Gaga headed her own
but this is
specific
like
genre.
this is like Madonna pop though,
Yes,
like
yes.
Madonna's daughter pop. So,
Right.
and we weren't really, I feel like we weren't really seeing that during the time. So for her to come out, she's got like this beach blonde hair. She's
Mhm.
like literally half naked, but she's singing and she's dancing. And a lot of people want to credit like the gimmicks and the antics to her fame, like
Mhm.
the meat dress and the telephone music video, and I forgot what award show it was where she like starts bleeding at the end, and
Mhm.
I think she was singing Paparazzi at that time. But I think all of that together was just the creativity. Because even if you took away all that stuff, like the shenanigans, right? It's still good music.
Yeah.
It's still, in my opinion, I don't know if
It
I should
no, it
say
is
it's
innovative.
innovative.
I'm gonna say it is. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I that's how I feel about Gaga. She's one of the few artists lately. So, there's those standouts where you have Beyonce, Adele. Gaga's one of them. Because not only
Yes.
can the lady sing, but she's definitely a weird little theater kid. And I do have a soft spot in my heart for these weird little theater kids. I wouldn't want to be with them or anything like that. But I respect that they're just little talented little divas doing their thing, like just doing what they need to do. And Gaga's one of them. Like she can sing, she can write. I guess she can act now. And she's a good.
Not in that Gucci
I
movie.
haven't watched
That
it. Well, she did.
that accent is terrible.
Okay. But yeah, arguably she's a good person. I would think. I mean, I am a bit. I'm not a huge Lady Gaga stan like that, but I really do like Gaga. So, yeah, I was.
Stefani Joanne Angelina Germanata.
Yeah, I was like surprised that this was the album that got on because at the time, I mean, you were in high school. I was in
Yeah.
college by this time already. So, if we take this into context of the time that it was out, like, Glee was coming out. There was no real forefront of, LGBT rights. It was starting to. And it felt at that time that Born This Way, I don't want to say it was gimmicky, but it was so rah, like
Hmm.
gay, lesbian and stuff like that, which is fine. But because it was almost after school specially to me. These types
Huh.
of songs at that time. Looking back at it, like, I didn't really like Born That Way, to be quite honest, that song.
So I don't really like care for it
Like Edge of
either,
Glory. Yeah.
but I think that it has its place in her discography.
I do because it's Gaga and what she does, and but
Yeah.
I don't think it's like this is one of the things with pop where you can tell when an album is just manufactured. I think this is a genuinely Gaga album that she created. It came from her heart and everything. Um, but for me, my taste at the time, I thought it was a little bit too raw. I mean, it did become an anthem. It still is, and actually looking back on it and seeing how it progressed now, I like it. I'm like I'm glad Born This
Mhm.
Way exists. I'm glad that this is the anthem, and I actually kind of like, as Dom said, it's kind of this type of CD is refreshing to me because the lyricism
Mhm.
it is kind of rah rah. We don't have a lot of those these days, and I kind of like the rah rah, like feel yourself, you have beautiful hair, you fully appreciate it now that I don't have it a lot because I think at that time with like 2011 you had like Katy Perry, like Roar, Brave,
Yeah, it was like
that
Katy
type of
Perry.
real those like love yourself type of song. So this would just felt at that time just another tack on of that. But looking back, I'm like, okay, I appreciate it more. And she gives us the vocals and she gives us the performance. And this is the first time I did listen to her whole album this time, and I do like
Mhm.
a lot of the stuff. I'm a pop girl. There was one song I said that sounded really early 2000s. What was it?
Let me see.
It was Hair. It
Hair.
reminded me of the
Yes.
Lizzie
Yes.
McGuire.
Yes. That's literally
Hey
like a
now.
2003.
I
Like.
loved it though. It's so good. I was driving on way home with it, and I was like, oh, this is like I like this. It's like Hillary Duff a little bit. I like that a lot. You did talk about the TikTok song. Fun fact: after I listened to that, I went into TikTok and looked at the dance, and then I ended up in a YouTube black hole. And now I have a favorite figure skater because
Oh.
she did like a performance to. I mean, she's Gen Z. She did a performance with the song. I don't know. Was there anything else that I feel that stood out to me? Um, there was one song that did. I decided. Oh, the German song. I just
Oh.
did. Very interesting. You know what?
It was so interesting that I
Interesting.
finished it.
I listened to the
I
whole thing, and I was
Yeah, I
like,
listened to the whole thing because I'm like, oh, she's really speaking German right
yeah,
now.
and I was like, does Gaga speak German? She's one of our good pop women, and I'm glad she exists and she can sing. And I really,
Yeah,
anytime
and
she has a performance, I'm like, I gotta listen to this lady sing. Let's go.
yeah,
Go
that's what I can say. Like, I really don't have anything bad to say about her. And also, she gave us one of the most iconic memes ever. She's like, a club, another club, bus, no stop, no sleep, club, another club. Like I say that weekly. I literally use say that weekly. And then what is
The
that
the
other? Oh,
iconic. No, no,
that
no.
that
No,
yeah. Oh, iconic, amazing,
no.
beautiful, outstanding. Like, come on.
I love Gaga, dude. Like I have listened. I've heard her in the gay clubs and stuff. This music is definitely like gay clubby. I can't listen to it on vinyl. I think it's definitely belongs in like a computer for me.
Yeah, like headphones.
Yeah, I mean, there were. I was gonna say in terms of production, there were a few songs where it felt like I love Gaga's voice. I love her voice, so I love hearing her sing. But there were songs where it felt like there was cotton balls in my ears, where I just couldn't hear things. It just felt very like staticky. I don't know if that was
I
just
think
time.
Alejandro, not Alejandro, the Americano one was one of those.
There was some of them where I was just like, I can't hear anything, but I get
Mhm.
why it would be in the clubs, and I would love to hear it in a club and dance to it. That would be great.
I also think of that one Kanye meme where he's like, Gaga is the creative director of Polaroid. He's like, what the fuck does she know about cameras? Oh, Kanye. Oh my God. Anyway,
Our
but
pop lives are great. Yeah.
no. Okay, so number 483. This is Muddy Waters, the Anthology. Yet another compilation album. So for full transparency, I did fall behind this week. And then Emily texted me and was like, the Muddy Waters is another compilation. Mind you, this compilation is not on streaming, so I basically had to like go and try to
YouTube.
like YouTube it.
Mhm.
It was so hard to listen to this. My grandpa would be upset by me saying this, but I'm I don't think I like the blues. I don't think I'm into rhythm and blues. Not rhythm, but I don't think
Wow.
I'm into blues music. I really didn't enjoy this. And you know the Chappelle show?
Uh-huh.
This sounds like Chappelle, like the theme song to Chappelle show. Like
Huh.
the beginning of it. Like it's just guitar and like a older black man singing, and that was basically the entire thing. And hearing that continuously, it just wasn't for me. Yeah, I
I
don't
ac-
like it. I didn't really like it.
I actually enjoyed it.
Wow.
I know.
This is like I feel
I
like you and the Soweto. Like I don't.
Okay, this wasn't banger every single time. This did get overwhelming. I couldn't listen to it. It took me 3 days. I needed breaks. But
Right.
when it first started, I was like, oh, let's go. I like this. I really like. I don't know if it's the guitar. I really fuck with the harmonica. I think the harmonica is great. Like didn't. I didn't really realize it was blues until I looked at it. I was like, oh, maybe I do like the blues. Kind of like the other compilation where they all kind of start to sound the same. I actually wouldn't mind listening to it at home, but in a playlist. Like maybe a couple songs in a playlist about with other stuff. Like I
Hmm.
wouldn't mind this type. I wouldn't mind some Muddy Waters in there. But I did look it up and he's considered one of the fathers of
Yeah.
rock and roll. So that
Hmm.
kind of makes sense as to why I kind of like it also. It has some elements in
And
there
that's
that
why
I
I like
enjoy.
feel bad for saying like I don't like it in a way, because I was saying that I really liked the punk album, right? And basically punk, I'm assuming, is
It
just like a
stemmed from this,
is a
yeah.
subgenre of rock. And
Mhm.
rock is basically kind of like created through blues, which is like, with
Mhm.
black people,
Mhm.
basically really pioneered, and then Elvis stole it.
Mhm.
Um so
Mhm.
then that's why I feel bad saying like I'm not interested in it. And like this is also true like black American music, where like the people who created this music, like they're from Mississippi, like they're from Alabama. They made the great migration up to Chicago, where like Chicago is known for the blues. And
Mhm.
I'm just like, oh God, please turn this off. Like I feel like a bad black person for saying this. Like, I don't know. I just
Well, it's kind of like how
boring.
you thought that the Stooges was boring, even though I'm pretty sure whatever Black Flag was probably inspired by them. Because
Yeah,
when you start pioneering, right, it does start as it could be starting at a more simplistic form, and it grows. And I don't think it's wrong to like the growth of something, as it just you don't have to like the core of it. You know what I mean? I don't think you
that's
need
true.
to. I think I talked shit about jazz before about how I don't like all the
Oh
solos at
yeah.
once. But this one had very like they had solos but in a correct place. So I really enjoyed like when you had the harmonica solo. It was like, okay, your turn. Now it's a guitar solo. Okay,
Mhm.
now it's like Muddy Waters, you sing it and stuff like that. It's kinda like I did like the honey song. I liked Long Distance Call. But yeah, I mean, I didn't go into the history of it yet. I don't know if I'm going to. I don't feel very inspired to, but I can appreciate it and I can see why it's on there. I think Muddy Waters, he's an important figure probably in music, so that's why they're like,
Yeah.
let's throw the compilation on. Shouldn't have done that, I think, but whatever. Like, yeah,
Just pick like one. I feel like that's unfair. That's
I
like
think it's
me.
not fair. Yeah, like he's putting artists on instead of albums on. You can't just put
Yeah, it's just
Beyonce's
like,
greatest hits. Like, they're all
well,
different.
that would basically just be like Homecoming. Like,
Yeah.
which I think would
You know
be
what? That would
valid.
be on 500.
I think that
Okay.
would actually be valid though, because like that really that honestly was like everyone's like, can we get a Beyonce's greatest hits? It's like Homecoming and it's
Mm,
live. So it sounds even better than what it would have been studio.
yeah.
So like that's nice and all. But yeah, no more compilations. I
I
hope we don't
hope
run
there's
into
not
any
more,
more.
but we'll see. I think it's cheating to put compilations on. I think it's lazy because it doesn't
Yeah,
sound.
because like it's like you were indecisive about picking one. Because there's no way you think all these songs. There's no way. Like as a full body of work. Like
I
there's
think they
a
just wanted
couple
the artist on
throwaways.
there. Yeah.
Okay, so 482 we have the Far Side, Bizarre Ride to the Far Side. I actually really enjoyed this.
Ah, we agree for once.
Yeah. This is like the hip hop my dad would listen to.
Mm,
And he would always feel like the hip hop that I listen to is like not real hip hop because it's like mumble rap. He's like, you
mm-hmm,
don't know what real bars are like and all this other stuff. Um, I normally like wouldn't listen to this because this kind of gives me like not like Wu-Tang,
mm-hmm.
but maybe like a Tribe Called Quest
Oh yes.
vibes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like Most Def type of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So I find this, I think it's three people because I looked it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's three people and they basically made this album together. They're from LA, so they're
Mm-hmm.
West Coast rappers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like it gives me like 90s Odd Future in a way
Yeah.
because some of the lyrics are outrageous and it has like this shock factor that, Tyler the Creator, Jasper, Haji Beats,
Mm-hmm.
like Left Brain would like all have in their like Odd Future compilation albums.
Mm-hmm.
There is particularly one lyric that really stood out to me and I'm like, this is exactly some shit Tyler the Creator would say. Like that's immediately what I thought. Also, Emmeline can't say like half of the names on
I
this
can't.
album.
Unfortunately, one of my favorite songs on this has the N word in it, so I can't even say it. But I really liked it.
No, actually I think that that was one of the ones that I added in.
Yeah. I'm not I don't really typically listen to 90s rap because, again, I think we're talking about the beginnings of things, right? So I think this is probably on the earlier end of rap. The beats and the melody of it is kind of simplistic. It's like, da 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 da
Mhm.
na 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 na, which is not like the most interesting to me, but I really liked some of the music in the background. So I actually ended up saving two songs and I have listened. Okay, I listened to it 3 days ago. I have listened to them every day, like straight. After I listened to, so when I listened to Soulflower, that's one of the top songs.
Oh, that's the one that I picked up where he has like a line at the end and I'm like, this is exactly what Tyler the Creator would
Is it
say.
the HIV song?
Yes, where he's like, if Magic Johnson can admit he got AIDS, fuck it, I got herpes. That's literally some shit that Tyler would say on like Bastard, like very early in his
Yeah.
career. Just inflammatory, like HIV like bar that's like a
Mm-hmm.
joke, but it's like not funny because HIV is very serious.
Yeah.
And then to joke about like, fuck it, I got herpes. And then I think one of the other ones was it was like I think it was For Better or For Worse. That
Mm-hmm.
also is like I feel like a pretty Tyler the Creator as type of song, just because at like the very end, it's there's so I read up on the song how the way the song is structured, the first verse is like for better. It's the best thing that can happen to you. You marry your high school sweetheart, like everything's great, like
Hmm.
it's good. What's a step below that is like you get a girl pregnant that and then you have a shotgun wedding. Below that is you get like prank called by like some guy that's saying he's going to eat you, like cannibalism, and
Hmm.
it's just insane. And
Hmm.
then the last verse, it's just chaos. You don't know what is happening. It's
Hmm.
just rapping and sounds and that's the for worse part. And and seeing all that, I think that's such a cool way to really make a song, and particularly the cannibalism part reminded me of the really, really, really early days of Odd Future, where it was like Sarah, I think was the name of one of the songs, Lisa, where he would literally talk about like killing them, cutting them up, like having them in their body, like drinking their blood, like just being like insane Tyler lyrics, right? And because they're both from LA, because Tyler and his people were from like Ladera Heights, I just found like that was like very similar.
Hmm.
So that was very interesting. I think it's so interesting that you like the one song where you can't say the title of it.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Soulflower and I liked Other Fish a lot. I
Oh
think it's
yeah.
because they're both feel good and they have a little bit of a groove on both of them. Which again, like I said before, I like rap when you can like bounce and dance to it. But I also was looking up stuff about them because I did see it was West Coast rap. And I thought,
Mhm.
West Coast rap is like Tupac and stuff. But there was in the articles that I was reading, it was saying that at that time it was very like, gangster rap that was really popular. So this was kind of a refreshment that they weren't this was more light. Even though they had a bunch of like layers and everything, there was just still a little bit more feel good. And I'm like, okay, I think they have fun rhymes and I think it's good beats and everything. Um
Yeah, like your
no.
mama. That was such like an insane song.
Yeah.
Um, it's a very, very funny song.
Yeah.
About the your mama jokes that
Yeah.
people would make. I don't know if anyone still makes those. If you do, that's really lame. Like, grow up.
No.
But um,
Yeah, like this is one of the few I mean, I haven't felt like this about the other songs or any of the other albums, but I had an inkling or a desire to want to memorize some of these lyrics because I think it'd be fun to
oh,
like sing to, I mean, like in my car because I was listening to it in my car and like I can totally see this on the beach, like hear it, if you're on Venice Pier or whatever. I'm like,
hmm
oh, this people would totally be listening. It puts me in a nice, like a good place, like a good feeling. So I was actually surprised I liked this because I'm not usually a not only I'm not usually like a rap fan because I do like rap sometimes, but especially
hmm
90s rap, Fresh Prince, like I did not think I would like it. But yeah, I liked it. I actually really enjoyed it. Like
yeah,
I am
that's
obsessed
like
with
gonna
these two
be
songs.
me. Like when we get to like the Tupac Biggie
Mm.
portion, oh my god, I'm gonna like check out. I feel like I don't
Oh
know,
yeah.
90s rap is
I
just like
love
not
Biggie though. Ah.
it's like not for me. Oh, it's so not for
Yeah.
me. But I did enjoy this one, and I think it's mainly because they
It
had
feels like
it had similarities to Odd Future, and I'm like a really big Odd Future fan.
mhm.
So or what they used to be Odd Future, but yeah, I really enjoyed their music at the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
also this is the first rap album
Oh, and it's good.
on the list. Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
first rap album on the list, and I'm not shocked to say that we're 18 albums in, and this is the first rap album because we all know how the music industry and people in
Yeah.
general treat rap, and we even see it with how rappers treat rap. Like there'll be times where rappers will come in and they'll do rap, but then they'll like transition to like a different subgenre and be like, yeah, like don't listen to that stuff I had before. Like I matured, like I make real music now. And it's like, well, why do you think rap isn't real music? Like why do you
Yeah.
diminish the art that you created? And specifically one person I'm talking about is Little Yachty. Like
Oh,
he
I thought you
has
were gonna talk
recent
about. Mr. Malone,
Who Malone? Who's that?
Post Malone.
Oh, Post Malone. Oh, yes, Post Malone too. And even Miley Cyrus did that too, where she had
Yeah,
like her bangers album era, and then she
Bangers was a
basically
good
like,
album.
and that was her best in my opinion. And she like shit on it, and then she said like rap music is like or certain types of music, but your Juicy J song is probably one of the most iconic songs. Like,
Yeah,
come on. But Post Malone did that too. Like you came in and your first song was White Iverson,
yeah,
and then now you pick up a guitar and you make it seem like this is real music. When you're in a genre that was pioneered by black people for you to be able to even be in the genre, and then you disrespect the genre and basically say like the music that I was making is not real music, but because I've added an acoustic guitar in, it's now music. It's now real music. And
mm,
Little Yachty recently just did that because he kind of made like a Tame Impala ish esque album recently, and it's a lot different than all his other albums. Most people aren't going to be like, Little Yachty's my favorite rapper. Like Little Yachty has such great lyrical content, right? Because he made the song Minnesota. It gets cold like Minnesota. That's the hook for the entire song, right?
mm,
And no shade to him because I love that song. I genuinely like that song, but this album was really different and I really liked this album. But to say that all your prior work, don't listen to that because it's not real music. But it's odd. So
yeah.
that's all to say that this being the first rap album, I'm not shocked at all because we've listened to like six country albums at this point.
That is true.
Like,
That
or
is
at
true.
least in
A
that
lot.
genre,
Yeah,
or in that genre of albums. And this is we've only what have we listened to? Two R&B albums, the Rufus album and the Boys to Men album,
mm,
and then almost every other album was like some type of country or rock
right,
album. And
right.
this is the first hip hop album that we've listened to
Hmm.
for eight. I mean, mind you, 18 albums sounds like a lot, but out of 500, obviously that's not a lot. But
Hmm.
to see the disparity is
Yeah,
interesting,
I'm
to
not
say the
sure
least.
who they had voting. After this, I'll probably go look up who actually had who was
Yeah.
voting so we can get some context to it more. Hopefully, it's a little bit more balanced. I don't want to do not that I don't like country, but I want I would like for it to be balanced. So that is all. But yeah, no, it's a good start for the rap though. So we shall
Yeah,
see.
I think it was a good start.
We shall see. But
So, sorry, you have anything else closing?
you guys should listen to Soulflower and Other Fish. I literally on repeat. It's been those two songs, I think, for the past 2 days. It's like, wow, I haven't liked a song like this in a very long time. So,
Well, I'm
yeah.
actually glad that you've gotten that from. I haven't gotten that yet,
Oh.
unfortunately. But hopefully I will
Hmm.
as we continue to go through this, because that's obviously also supposed to be the whole point of this. Because imagine
Yeah.
I go through all 500 of these albums and I don't
You don't
get
know
a
song.
single song that I like out of it, then I'm gonna be upset. Um, but so the last album for this week is 481, Belle and Sebastian, If You're Feeling Sinister. I feel like cover art has a lot to play in how I also will perceive an album. This doesn't sound
I do not know what the cover art is at all. I just put it on. Wow. Let me go look at this.
I don't think that the cover art matches the music.
Well, I don't think the title song matches the music. If you're
I
feeling
don't think so.
sinister,
Yeah, and then
there's no
and
way.
the music's not sinister at all.
It's not. It's
It's
very
like the
light.
complete opposite of sinister
Yeah.
actually.
Oh, I see what you mean about the cover. Well, because it's red. Maybe if this was like a sepia yellow, it would be okay.
Yeah, or even like a green. I just something about it and then the title, it's kind of like juxtaposition maybe or maybe more ironic because it just doesn't go with the actual music. I don't really have much to say about this album. I guess it's folk. Do you know these people?
The reason why I
Do
know
you know
them,
these people?
I do know them. The reason why I know, I like how you're just like, do you know people? Yes, as
Do
a
you know?
matter of fact. And I know about them because of the show How I Met Your Mother, because he talked
Oh.
about them on a vinyl. He was like, "Oh, this girl, she's perfect. She has the Belle and Sebastian vinyl." So that's how I know that
Mhm.
it's kind of like an indie rock, indie folk pop type of thing. And I can totally see this being on a vinyl and being in someone's record player. I think if I had listened to this in my early 20s, late teens, when I was starting to transition out of like the rock phase and more into like a mellower, I think I would
Mhm.
like some stuff, but nothing stood out to me. I don't know if it was an important record. I don't know if it pioneered anything. It sure doesn't sound like it did.
This
It
doesn't
was
really sound like anything I've heard before
it's just
also.
oh really? I think I've listened to a lot of indie rock and indie pop and indie folk that since it all sounds like this that
Mhm.
I don't think it's special.
Maybe this is my first glimpse into it then. I just
Mhm.
like I don't know. Uh again, not special, not unspecial. I just really like when the cover art matches the music and
Okay, there's a
the title.
documentary about it.
I'm
Wow,
not watching that.
this must have been an important
No, I'm
song.
crying because why is there a documentary about this and I'm like, this is so unimportant.
It doesn't feel like it's important. It doesn't sound like it. It feels like I don't even know what to compare it to. The song that I keep on thinking in my head is the paper kites, and I don't think it's
Paper
the same.
cuts.
Oh, Sufjan Stevens. Oh, they had something to do with Death Cab for Cutie. That does make sense. And the Decemberists.
I
Oh,
don't
and
know
the
who
Shins. Oh, that
are
maybe that's
any of these people.
maybe that's why I don't think of them so much because I would rather listen to the Shins than listening to this because it says this has inspired the Shins. That makes way more sense. Probably how Dom feels about punk or Muddy Waters, where she likes the later stuff than the original stuff. If this was
Yeah,
something where this inspired a lot of other, I can see why. But it does feel very watered down compared to those other things, and I think that's why I don't feel anything.
I won't. I'm just like really not liking the fact that there's just a lot of not a lot, but there are a couple albums on here that we have already reviewed where like I will genuinely just never listen to them again. So that's
Yeah.
why I'm wondering like is it just my personal taste thing or are these like critics just like
Yeah.
something's wrong with them because these are I don't know. Maybe I just don't have that musical ear. And
Mm-hmm.
that's okay.
I went on this Reddit and they're talking about people that sound like them, and I'm like, I recognize every single one of these albums that they're talking about, and how like they're an offshoot of Belle and Sebastian, and I'm like, wow, so Belle and Sebastian are kind of like my ancestral band. It should be,
My
because
ancestors.
I'm like, wow, I know Rilo like wow, I should like them. I feel like I should like them. I should like them more. I don't know why I don't like them more. Oh no.
But dude, like this is how I feel when they say like Beyonce has like obviously not has they say, but she does. She has a lot of pioneers.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to their music. I'm like, oh, I do not like this.
Yeah. Wow, this
I
is
do not like
insane.
it.
Well, I still feel the same way. I'm not gonna add any other stuff. I tried. I will listen to their children. Like that's who I will listen to.
Their daughters.
I'll listen to their
Belle
daughters.
and Sebastian's daughters.
Yeah, exactly. But
Okay,
yeah,
so
that
that was
yeah.
okay. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, just if anybody doesn't want to like, it's very folksy, indie folk, indie pop. If you like Young the Giant type of Rilo Kelly, Andrew Bird, Mumford and Sons, that type of vibe,
Oh,
that's kind
brother.
of it's kind of like that, right? Do you see it
When
now?
I when I was in my junior year of high school, I learned who Mumford and Sons was, and everyone looked at me like I was crazy,
Oh, I think you told me this story.
and I said, "Who the fuck is that?" And then everyone was like, "You don't know Mumford and Sons?" And like, mind you, there's only like two other black people in this class, and the
Yeah.
other black girl in the class, she knew who they were too. And I was like, "So everybody in this bitch knows who it is, but me." And then the teacher got on my case for
Oh
not knowing who it
god.
was, and it felt like an episode of like The Office, but I guess it would just be called like The Classroom, where like I just looked into the camera, like, "Can you believe this right now? Like, I'm getting jumped in class." Because I don't know who Mumford and Sons is.
Yeah. I mean,
Mind
to be
you,
fair, Mumford and Sons is not as good apparently as Belle and Sebastian, but it still has that vibe. So, would
so
you agree?
if they're not as good, I've never heard a song by them.
Oh,
I
you've
don't
never
even know.
heard you didn't
I
even
don't
so
even I
after you got jumped about Mumford and Sons, you didn't even like look into it. You were just like,
I
"No,
stood
fuck them."
I stood on business and said, "Fuck y'all. I'm not listening to this and I don't care." Because my teacher was talking about going to a Mumford. First of all, you should be teaching algebra, bitch. Like, what is that anyway? And I hope
Yeah.
Mumford and Sons isn't on here because I won't
I
be
don't
listening
think
to
they
that.
are. Yeah, see, I don't think they are. Yeah, I think Belle and Sebastian's a little bit better than. I mean, Mumford and Sons is a lot more folky. I think compared to this album, but yeah, I. All right, that's good for that one. I don't want to talk about them anymore. I'm not talking
Okay.
shit about them. They're just watery. They're just watery indie folk to me now.
Also, well, I guess last thing, this lady looks so distressed on the cover art. Like, that's I don't get it. I don't get the
Did you
cover
listen
art.
to the lyrics? Because I honestly didn't. So.
It didn't normally if the background music is like bad,
Mm-hmm.
I'll listen to the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
The background music wasn't bad. The production wasn't bad. It was
The
just
background's
boring.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like boring to me. So that's why I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really like take in the lyrics, I guess, like as I should have. But I mean, they obviously weren't talking about shit because I don't remember. So
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for that one.
I think I said in the first episode, but I'm making a playlist of songs that are either songs that I liked, weird songs that just stood out, or like they're absolutely just like insane. There's just something about them that like I need other people to listen to. But I think I have a Spotify account. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm gonna pay the $10 each month and make a playlist for you all so I can, get it together and you guys have something to listen to for all the
Hmm.
Spotify people.
I might do that for you
Yeah.
too, but so far the only songs is gonna be Soulflower and Other Fish.
Other fish.
Those are my songs, yo.
That's it.
Like shot him on the ass on a downstroke. Like I was like, what is this? Shot him on the ass on a
No, because when I
downstroke.
heard that, I was like, "What is this?"
It's so good.
It's so funny though. Oh my god. But okay, so that was the last album for this week. So okay,
Top two for you.
top two for me.
Or should we do bottom two first?
Yeah, let's do bottom two first.
Okay.
Richard and Linda. Yeah, I want to see the bright lights tonight. Um, Stooges. Sorry.
Okay, understood. I
Yeah.
understand. I understand. Bottoms for me. I mean, obviously, I didn't like Black Flag. Unfortunately, that was probably one of my bottoms. And it's either Richard and Linda because that was boring, or Phil because I was so mad that I had to listen to all of it.
Yeah. So top two, I think we're both going to agree on Far Side.
Our sides for
Um,
sure.
Far Side, and then I'm going to say Black Flag Damage, but I feel like it's kind of tied with Miss Linda. A Heart Like a Wheel. I know. But I know yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna stand. Because I really didn't want to pick one or the other. I think
Yeah,
Far Side is miles
that's
ahead of
straight up. Yes,
yeah,
straight up.
like I think that's straight up like the best in these 10 that we listened to this week.
Mm-hmm.
But I really think that Heart Like a Wheel and Damaged both
Yeah.
were good, and they're also just not what I typically listen to either. So that's why I found it very interesting for them to both be kind of like in the top for this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So mine obviously is Far Side, and I wasn't able to go get the vinyl that I wanted. So I'm like biased because obviously I have some nostalgia points with these other ones. So like the Stooges, of course I like it because it means something to me. but I would never listen to it on a vinyl. Like I probably will never listen to that full record full throughout ever again. So obviously that's that. I mean, that has to be out for me. Um, then it was between John Mayer and Gaga, but between those two, it's hard for me to pick. But I suppose I'd have to pick John Mayer's. It's nostalgia, and
Yeah.
it's one of those. But I do love Gaga. I love that lady.
So next week we have Miranda Lambert, Weight of These Wings
Oh God, country.
again.
Yeah, that's she's country, isn't
Um,
she? Lambert.
yeah, she's country, like true country, like CMA's country.
Mm-hmm.
We got 479 Selena,
Ah,
Amor,
Selena!
Prohibido.
Let's go.
Um,
Ooh, the Kinks also. Ooh, this is gonna be a good week for me.
we have the Kinks, Something Else by the Kinks. 477 Howling Wolf, Moanin' in the Moonlight. We have Sparks, Kimono, My House. We have yet another country album,
Is
Sheryl
Cheryl Crow
Crow.
country? She was more
I,
pop.
is it pop?
She is because she has that country vibe though. I do like Cheryl Crow though.
I feel like it's like rock pop.
Pop
Rock
rock,
pop,
pop
maybe?
rock.
Pop rock?
Yeah, pop rock.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm again, like we said, I'm ignorant to the actual
Mm.
genres. So it's self-titled Sheryl Crow. We have 477 Big Star #1 record.
No idea what that is.
I've no idea what that is, so that's gonna be interesting. 473 Daddy Yankee, Barrio Fino.
Let's go.
That's so interesting. I'm pretty sure that this is the one that has Gasolina on this.
Let's
Yeah.
go. This is gonna be a good week for me. I'm excited. I'm excited for this week.
Yeah, so
Wow,
I'm
this is gonna be
excited
a
for
good
this
one.
one. And then my good girl. We have 472 Scissors Control. Yeah.
Oh, just to
Yeah,
let you
that
go. Yeah, actually, this is our Valentine's
this is a
episode.
good week.
This is
Oh
our
yeah, it
Valentine's
is.
episode. So we will be spend. Well, we don't know. Maybe Dom has a date that night, but I will
I
be
won't.
inside. I will be inside. That's our Valentine's episode. We're gonna go in through our problems maybe. But
Yeah,
SZA
because
Control, perfect little background for it.
perfect
That's
background.
Dom's album.
That is so we each have our own SZA album. Mine is Control, hers
Mine's
is SOS. Not
SOS.
to say that I don't like SOS, but Control is a coming of age album for me. Like we'll really get into it next week, but
Mm-hmm.
that album means it means a lot to me. Um so 471 is Jefferson Airplane Surrealistic Pillow.
I don't know what that is.
That sounds like it's gonna be awful. But okay.
Well,
In
that's your prediction
anticipation,
for the.
yeah, in anticipation for next week, obviously I already know like Control is gonna be amazing because that's probably like my most listened to album almost ever, honestly.
Wow.
I'm really interested in Sparks, the Kimono My House.
I've never heard of
I
it. I don't know what that is.
I wonder if this is gonna be like pop. I'm not even gonna like look at the description, but looking at
Yeah.
the cover art, I hope it's kind of like Japanese pop in a way.
Mm.
Um, Interested in the Selena album because I've never listened to. All I know is Bitty Bitty
Bitty
Bom
Bom Bom.
Bom. That's it. That's all I know.
How about Dreaming
I
of
don't know
You? Not
anything
Dreaming of
else.
No
You said
Dreaming of
what?
You? Dreaming of You? No? Okay. Bitty
And
Bitty
all I
Bom
know is
Bom, Bitty Bitty Bom.
her
Sorry.
her body was tea, honey. She's super thick, super pretty. She get money. Her body is tea. Like that purple outfit, yeah, iconic. She was that girl.
She was that girl.
That outfit was. She's so beautiful and perfect. Like fuck that lady who killed her. Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever her name
Was it
is.
Yolanda? Was her name
Yeah,
Yolanda?
yeah.
Fuck Yolanda. Fuck you,
Fuck
Yolanda.
Yolanda. Fuck Yolanda.
We will see you guys next week for well, it's gonna be a little bit of a. I'm gonna release the next episode on Valentine's, or maybe some around closer to the time. So the release date will be a little bit staggered for now, but we will see you next week. Thank you for signing on with the Dotted Line. I'm Emily.
Yes. Yes,
That's
and
Dom.
I am Dom, and
And
we can't wait
thanks
to
for
see you
tuning
guys back here next week then.
in. Bye.
Bye.